Oh, okay. You're all witness. I did it. Recording. Okay, so I know we have two items on the agenda and one of them is not here now. So let's start with your teaser for the Is Media Ruining America?
Sure. So, this is probably 75% of the way done right now. I have not done, a lot of the voice is just like AI generated because the script has been changing. I do have somebody who has done a little amateur voiceover work who's interested in doing the final script. So just keep that in mind when you're watching it. And then there's some slides at the beginning that repeat themselves. And I'm going to be inserting more images. I was just hoping to see if anybody in the group had some good ones for that. So keep those two things in mind when you're watching it. Still a rough draft. We're not finalized yet, but and I am not a designer, so any feedback is welcome. I'm a tech person. I know how to put the pieces together. But if anyone has any design feedback, thoughts, suggestions, please speak up. I will go ahead and share my screen. I think that's probably going to be easiest. Let me pull up Canva. Can everyone see Canva here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure it's going with me. All right. New.
The CIO noticed fake news. The series gives you real tools for Quran vows. The history of fake news has changed. How is fake news on the integration of productions and family conversation with local media experts are being the media based on what they had learned during the workshop. And 90% were recommended to you will put the materials necessary to host your own workshop. No experience necessary, just a concern for democracy and willingness to act. Want to bring this to your community? Reach the news access at Colorado.org for access to the media ruling America.
That's it. So
I
what do
think
y'all
that's
think?
awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Okay, it's not too long. Did it drag a little bit? We already had to cut out. Rebecca gave me so many good stats, and I already had to cut out so many of them because I'm like, it just kept going long. But I don't know. There's so much good stuff in there. So
I think you got the big part. It's hard to, with the repeat images in the front, it's
mhm.
hard to know what's staying and what's going.
Mhm.
and what that's gonna look like, but I think you get the basic message across.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I do too. It's
I
great.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
I am a slow reader. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
come from a family of slow readers,
Mm,
and some of
bad.
those flashed on. It's like the difference between when I watch a Spanish language on PBS versus a Norwegian or
Okay.
Finnish language show. I cannot read the subtitles as fast as they flash on because
Okay.
Spanish speakers are fast. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I was having the feeling with some of the slides. So,
Okay.
especially ones with a lot of text.
Mhm.
I think about how you can modulate that, perhaps.
Okay. That's really good feedback. Thank you,
Mhm.
Kathy.
You're welcome.
And Kathy, I would add to that. I agree. And there, some of those where you repeated them, the slides. I don't think you need to repeat those slides, and so
Mhm.
that would give you a little extra time to drag it out a little bit. That way, people could read it a little more.
Yeah.
Because the slides were very good, and as I read them, I got them.
Yeah.
And when I saw it the second time, it's like, why is this repeating? And so
Yeah.
so I think that that would give you a little more space, so to say. The other item is somewhere in there, and I don't know how, this is just an ongoing something about the league, is the idea that we have to each keep saying uh, that we are non-biased, that we are not, supporting a left or a right, or we're supporting facts. And I don't know how somewhere in there to say that with the league in particular, because people keep asking me things like, well, who is the league saying to vote for? And I'm saying the league doesn't take issues on people, and
Right.
so it doesn't take a stand on people, and so I want them to know that we're taking a stand on facts is what we're taking a stand on. We're not taking and whichever side it comes from, kind of.
So,
Okay.
Kay,
Mhm.
because this is a promotional video that we're marketing to league members to
Oh, then
pick
they
up this
know.
up and take and do it in their
Yeah.
communities, I'm not sure we need it for this version.
No, if that's
Yeah.
the group. Okay. No, I agree with you if that's the group. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
But that's
Beverly,
good.
did you
That's
have
good
something you
feedback.
wanted to?
We can certainly modulate that for individual chapters if they want to use any of it. We could add something at the back end that says, we're nonpartisan. This is fact-based, yada yada. I think that's really good. Yeah.
And Beverly, you were
Um,
looked like you were thinking about something.
Yeah.
I was only thinking about, because it did go fast. And when it got to week 4, AI and fake news, I think was the text. Um, I guess that's okay. I mean, we talked a lot about in the presentation about really mental games with your mind through AI, which leads to fake news and the manipulation and the lowering of well, this is interesting. I heard somebody the other day say, this is on Bill Maher, and he just said when he was a kid in school, they gave him a calculator in 3rd grade. And because of that, he lost the drive, the ability. It was never expected of him to develop mental math and use that portion of your brain that comes from memorizing multiplication tables, estimating, rounding, all that. He just always grabbed a calculator. And he's worried that AI would do that. And I was sitting there listening, saying, yeah, well, because it dumbs down the language, it flattens it, and it's gonna take your ideas and spit them at you the way it wants you to see it. And if you keep buying into that, you will forget how to be a problem solver and think it through on your own. So
That's a lot to carry in
I
a
know, no,
teaser.
I know. So maybe AI and fake news is fine.
I think now, Jazz, correct me if I'm wrong, but we didn't hear the soundtrack.
No,
So all the little
Oh no.
subtitles,
Oh.
no,
all the
we
little
couldn't hear it.
subtitles that were coming up across the bottom were just telling you what you'd be hearing, what the voice
Right.
would
Oh.
be saying. So
Well,
the
that makes
voice
it
will
more
be
exciting.
expanding on AI and fake news
Okay.
on
Let
that
me
slide.
so there's music that goes with, so the slides at the beginning are intended, there's like a crescendo that goes, as sort of a, oh my gosh, there's so much, how can we deal with it? And then it crashes down to the, how is this affecting our democracy on the broken flag?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's sort of, that would definitely make a lot more sense with the soundtrack to it.
I think when we
What I
hear the
can-
voice, the soundtrack and the voiceover, a lot of these problems will be solved.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you'll be hearing it, you won't just be reading it. You won't be trying to read the subtitles. You'll be
Yep.
hearing the voiceover,
Yep.
and they'll be reading the text on the slides and adding a little bit of, color with it. So
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that'll
makes
be
a huge
awesome. I can't wait to see
Okay.
that one.
Let me, I can send a link out to, or pop it in the chat, and people can take a look, and feel free, I'll make sure my email's in the chat. Send me any feedback that you have, by all means, definitely. So, yeah.
I really appreciate I just sent her like a raw thing, and she sent me back this editorial outline and how it was all going to go with the sound of the music. And I'm like, oh my God, like I don't deal with professionals on this stuff very often. So I just want to say it's been wonderful working with you, and I'm anxious to see the final cut.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. We talked about too, it would be really nice if we could get something on the state website that promotes this, that has the teaser and then gives people links to the, uses some of the graphics for media, is media ruining America, and points them back to the now link where they can download all the stuff and do it, and maybe promote that, before the election, like, so it's on the slider. But I don't know how we, I don't know who influences the state about what they put on the website or how that works.
I'll ask them at a meeting.
And I'd be happy to work with them, because I have the graphics and stuff to give them stuff they can use.
Okay.
And then once the teaser is done, because we're going to want it to be displayed prominently. We don't want people to have to go all the way to the now and then scroll down to find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We want it to be kind of front and center
Okay.
for a
I
while.
have if I put you in contact with Jane Dunk,
Yeah.
I'll copy you on it, and then you can.
Work with Jane on
Yeah.
trying to get it. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay.
Linda, this is Kay. I just had a question. And y'all have already given 4 different places where it's going to be, with the 2 at Jeffco and the 1 at Ollie and then the one that Larimer's doing. Is there any way just to put those dates in somewhere too in it? Because I'm like, if you're really interested in this, and there are individuals who will come and see it and then they might use it somewhere else. If there's anywhere in that, that would be a great something.
That's a great suggestion to put that on that splash page.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
people can get to it. We're having so much trouble with Club Express right now. We're having trouble getting it up on our own website. But hopefully they'll get that resolved shortly.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jazz. That was
That's great.
Actually, I know you've got this all ironed out, but I kind of like the fast stuff because that's what you feel like when you're bombarded with all the information. It's fast, like your brain's
That's exactly what I was trying to go for, is
Yeah.
how do we sort through all the mess and figure out what's real and, what we actually need to pay attention to. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Okay. Are we ready to move on to our guest? Anush Ray. Did I just kill your name?
There, yeah, that was perfect, Anushree. Can you guys hear me? All right.
Barely.
Barely, yeah. Pretty soft.
All right, let me maybe take off my headphones and see if that helps. Is this any better?
No, it's pretty soft.
It's very soft.
Yeah. Mm.
Are your audio settings on maximum? Because there's two different places that you can do that, other than just what's on your the top of your keyboard.
Oh, your sound is off now.
Don't hear your audio.
Yeah.
Is this any better? I was just making sure I have the right mic selected. Might also be a Wi-Fi issue.
Oh, it's very soft.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but maybe I'll try turning off my video. Is this any better?
No.
Um,
No.
You're gonna have to shout.
Alright, yeah, I'm really not sure why this isn't working. I haven't had issues in previous meetings today, but hopefully you can sort of make out what I'm saying. So I think Linda was in touch with my co-lead, Sophia.
Mhm.
So we're both working on a project called Mapping AI. It's a stakeholder map that aims to bring together a lot of the organizations and people and resources that are shaping the conversation around AI policy in the US. So, our goal in creating this, we're both recently graduated, working, actually, Sophia works on space policy, I work on climate and energy policy, and we were both really feeling a lack of agency around I think a very rapidly developing conversation around AI policy in the US and the many kind of risks and new developments that are constantly evolving. And so we started doing a stakeholder map of all of the people and organizations we were hearing about could find their research online. And in some early conversations, as we were sharing that internal resource that we were using to make sense of the space, folks told us that it might be useful to make it public and something that everyone can contribute to. So that's kind of what inspired the project, and I'll send a link to the site. But yeah, no, I mean, I just wanted to be able to answer any questions. If you'd all like a few minutes to explore, I would screen share, but I'm a bit concerned maybe that my Wi-Fi isn't good enough if you can't hear me that well. Yeah, I am happy to answer questions, but generally it's supposed to be a resource that everyone can use to explore the different organizations, the labs, the policymakers, the funders in this space who are impacting the discourse, and how you can maybe contact relevant people or just learn more about the space.
Anushree, I was on on your site looking at your map after Linda had sent us the link today, and I found it very easy to navigate around, which I appreciated. I found it fascinating.
Thank you so much, Kathy. That's really appreciate that you were able to look around. Oh yeah, I see your screen now. Yeah, we're hoping to make it as easy to use as possible, but I think it is still just overwhelming to see
Yeah.
probably the number of different organizations that pop up. So the easiest way to explore is probably you can click on different bubbles, and that'll pop up information about whatever entity it is. That could be a person or organization, or in this case, a resource. And then you can actually see connections between those resources and organizations. So right now, I think Dario's pulled up. He's the CEO of Anthropic, and so you can see the different orgs he's connected to. You can also see actually how his views may have changed over time on things like what level of regulation we should have.
Over here is the regulatory stance.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
How did you, yeah, how do you see a change? How would I, if I wanted to find a change in somebody's attitudes or perspectives toward AI, how would I see that? Because for me, it's very small. The print on this right now is very small.
Yeah, so this is only So we don't have regulatory stances kind of tracked over time for everyone, but for players like Dario, or sorry, people like Dario, if you look at the regulatory stance field on his card on the right,
Okay.
where it says targeted, you'll see that there's these kind of nodes at 2025 and 2026, and if you hover over the bubbles there, so if you hover over where it says 2025 and there's like a dark gray,
Oh, okay.
That's
yes,
awesome.
Yeah, this is amazing. The amount of
Awesome.
information that is here is really amazing.
yeah, I'm glad that it might be helpful. I think our data is, I mean, the tool is only as strong as the data we have, and our data is definitely incomplete. So we're really hoping to have, people contribute their own knowledge, corrections if you see something that looks off, or if there's someone on the map who should be there and isn't. Please do. You're welcome to email us. I'll put our email in the chat, but there's also the contribute form on the site. There's a tab where you can also add corrections or add new people, organizations, resources if you come across an essay or an article that's particularly influential or that you find informative. Those are all things that we'd love to have on the map.
I like how you have you can see visually with the colors too, not with the group colors, but individual colors, whether it's verified or partially verified or unverified. That's very, I like that. That's, an error. It feels like a feeling of honesty is
Yeah.
going into this,
We've been thinking about ways to make this kind of as crowdsourced as possible, kind of like how Wikipedia sources information. And it's really the strength of the community that uses it that makes sure that everything is as accurate as possible. So we're slowly, both through kind of a community of verifiers and through writing a lot of scripts that go to every single maybe quote and make sure that it's still live and that source is active, to slowly verify things. But we, still have a long way to go, and I think it'll be a kind of constantly dynamic process.
Anushree, I have a couple of questions. I'm Beverly George. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so this map I'm looking at on your shared screen is essentially a map for stakeholders. Is that correct?
That's right. So any person, org, or resource that might be related in any way to kind of the AI policy conversation in the US.
Okay, in the US. Okay, so that there are two maps I've seen recently. This does not show where in the US these are located. Is that correct?
So we do have location as a metadata field tracked internally. We haven't done much visualization with that yet because it's hard to, especially with people, it's kind of hard to pinpoint where someone is located.
Sure.
So that's something we're hoping to bring back online once we've done some more.
There actually are two maps there that I came across recently. One is the distribution of data centers either proposed or up and running in the US by state. And then there's also a global map of data centers by country by a different website. And they're fascinating to me. And so I guess, have you looked into the fact that this one really stopped me in my tracks, that the US has 3,960 data centers either running or proposed for the future. And China, which we're supposedly in this almost arms-like race with, has 365. So the discrepancy in those numbers is jaw-dropping to me. And I just find that interesting. I wonder if that's any part of your research at all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the physical infrastructure question here is really crucial, and there's so many geopolitical implications and, of course, local impacts of these projects. We are trying to keep an eye out for all of these resources. So on our background and about page, we have links to other trackers and maps and tools that we've found. And I think it's not comprehensive. There's constantly new tools coming online. So I would love to see the links of the tools you mentioned. They sound really, really valuable. I think there's two that I've come across that I linked in the chat. If I'm not sure if they're the same ones that you were mentioning. Broadly, I think we are really trying to track kind of the evolving discourse around AI risk and policy, and of course, data centers are a part of that. We don't. I think there could be an interesting maybe collaboration between one of the tools that tracks data centers and this tool to maybe see how different people and organizations on our map are influencing the build out of these projects, maybe opposing or funding them. And right now, it's just Sophia and I mostly maintaining the tool, and we both have full-time day jobs, so it is kind of limited to the capacity we have. I do think broadly with the data center conversation, something that we're tracking on a policy issue side is whether or not a policymaker supports chip export controls, and I think that can explain some of the discrepancy between China and the US, in that the US has for a while restricted what kinds of chips can be exported to China, and so it's because of that, I think a lot of the chips that are used for these large models to be run can only be produced in the, or not produced in the US, but can only be built out in the US because they're not allowed to be exported to China. But of course, I think China and many other countries are now looking to invest in their data center capacity. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out.
I put a link in the chat to the interview you and Sophia did on Marketplace. I don't know if any, but I listened to it a couple of times, and there's a transcript. If you're slow like me, you can go back and read what you said and go over it a couple of times to understand it. But I think this is amazing. I mean, you had transparency and the in training data. That was just amazing to have all that information in one place where you can just check, and the networking with other groups.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to look at it. I mean, again, it's really only as strong as the community that brings more data, and yeah, that's what makes the tool work. So really appreciate any feedback you all have, questions as you're using it. Certainly, if there's organizations that you think could collaborate with us, we'd love to hear about it as well. And yeah, just another point I'll mention is we hosted, when we were building the tool, kind of a workshop around different streams. So people who attended the workshop, they could either focus on adding new data to the map, helping us verify data, but also on things like how can I use the data in this resource to maybe then influence an organization I'm part of, or contribute to a policy, a local policy in my community. So we called that first event a mapping party, and I think that's another way communities, if they're interested in maybe using this tool, to extract insights that they could then bring to a local policymaker. That's another thing that we'd love to see more of.
Right. Does anybody have any more questions for Anushree? Okay, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. That was great.
Yes, it's amazing.
Thank you so much again for having me. I'm sorry Sophia couldn't make it. She's currently off grid and traveling. But I would love to stay in touch, and please do feel free to email if you have questions. And thanks again for your interest in the tool.
Yeah, thank you. We'll be in touch.
All right.
Thank you.
And yeah, sorry for the audio issue. I hope it was mostly audible.
Yeah,
But I'll
yeah.
hop off.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, please feel free to email, and take care, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
I can't imagine the amount of work that
Oh,
went into
man.
that. I mean, can you believe it? It would take you forever just to, well, I will never be able to consume all that information. Let's put it that way.
It's
I-
nice that they have a Wikipedia type model so that all sorts of people can be contributing to it. Uh, I think that's good. But and the fact that they show that it's verified or partially verified or unverified is really good
Right.
with
There's
that.
a lot of information. I wonder, do you think that if we invited them back with better audio for an hour-long presentation, do you think that might be interesting?
I
Yeah.
think it would, but rather than screen sharing, I don't know how. I mean, it would be great if she could just take us through the whole website,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a hard thing to do with the screen share model.
Right.
And
Okay.
I was able to actually hear her well when I turned up my sound. I
Yeah,
didn't have a
I finally
problem with
figured that out too. I got it up to the highest, and
Mhm.
I could
I
hear
had
her.
mine cranked all the way up. I could barely hear her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have mine up too. So, but I was just thinking, all the categories they have there, and they know these, like the regulations and the transparency and the training, and whether it's corporate based or human centered, all those things that they could probably do an hour-long presentation with their website
Mhm.
somehow.
Yeah.
I think they can be defining their terms. And
Right.
when you get into more depth with the terms they use to make the different categories, that would help people see the power of this thing. I mean, I was impressed.
Mhm.
Yeah. So maybe we should invite him back for a bigger meeting, promoted to everybody.
Mhm.
Um, but we have to think of what exactly we want him. I liked your suggestion, Kathy, about defining terms
Mhm.
and explaining that they want this to be like a Wikipedia-like project.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Um,
I think also giving people ideas about how the data could be used
right, yeah.
would be really helpful because, at first you're looking at this. I was quickly just going through it and just looking at some of the categories it, uh, just to see how they were divided out. But it's something that I would like to know more in depth about, and about how it could be applied to things we do or other people could do.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm really naive in this area, so I'm just asking a question that everybody go, oh, anyway. When we talk about AI and we're talking about different states trying to do different kind of policies and things, how can this relate to the development of some of the things that people are talking about, where they want to go, and what would then be parts of it that would be ideas that might serve as some kind of limitations?
I could maybe address that, but if I understand your question. First of all, there are no regulations, federal regulations in the US, and that's why it's a smorgasbord from each state. Keep in mind it is a global industry, and so everything that's developed here has to meet the regulations of other countries if it's going to be deployed there and used there or sold there. So right now, the standard holder for regulations is the European Union. And I looked at regulations only from the perspective of protection of the AI users and protection of the general public data. And data is everything from your bank accounts to your social security number to your health information to your biometric data, your face, your voice, your eye retina scans. All of that is biometric data unique to each individual. So that said, the European Union is fairly strict, but almost all of them, and I only looked at the European Union, China, and the US, and then finally Colorado in the presentation I did. That said, the standard I believe that should be uniform anywhere is just to label it clearly content AI generated, period. Whether it's a video you're watching, a still photo, a voiceover, whether you're reading a news report. Most newspapers do have an AI policy online. You just have to Google it. You could Google, what is the AI policy for the Denver Post? And it would link you to the Denver Post and where to get it. It's not usually on the banner, where it says Denver Post. But it should say very clearly our policy is this. I'm making this up as an example, that our reporters will actually research and put together the stories, and we will only use AI to do the summary bullet points or something like that. The New York Times is excellent. They've had several articles from their AI department about where they're using AI. A key one is recently with the Epstein files, with 3 million documents dumped. They had an AI department, and the department head, actually is a programmer as well. So he knows how to contour the AI application to work for them. So I went to this panel or committee of 5 or 6 journalists and said, what do you need with 3 million documents? And they said, we need a spreadsheet. We need a giant spreadsheet with names, where they appeared, how often, what dates, and so forth. And then that way they could then take that spreadsheet and then start pulling from it the stuff they want to look at. For example, David Brooks's name is mentioned in their files. And the question comes up, well, why is that in the files? Because he might have just been at a big charity fundraiser that Epstein also attended. And that's why his name is in the files, which is a huge umbrella term. And maybe he didn't at all. I mean, I don't know the exact event, but maybe he did not, in fact, go to Epstein's Island, for example, on his plane. So that really helps them. And Epstein had a propensity for emailing and attaching articles that he read in the New York Times or the New Yorker or wherever. And so if the name came from the article he attached, it's irrelevant to Epstein's sexual activities, let's say. So anyway, to have a newspaper tell you how they're using it, to have you see an ad, a TV ad for a political candidate and say this is AI generated, labeling it. But right now in the United States, they expect it to be kind of like everybody on your own honor report what you want to report. And so the public does not know. That said, with all the both China and the EU require labeling, clear labeling. So if it's made in the United States and they want to sell it over there, they will have to meet that standard. So I'm expecting lawsuits coming because Trump doesn't like anybody to tell him the cards he has to play. He wants to come in with his own loaded deck. Yeah, Kathy?
It seems to me, and this is kind of directed at everybody that's in the LAC, it seems to me that 2 years ago, maybe, and I don't know if it was Brianna Tatone who tried to get a bill through that would require wherever this is used to be labeled, but
Yeah.
it failed. It failed in the General Assembly. It's, it's like in the back of my mind, I'm remembering this.
Oh, I think there was a bill this session that requires that if you apply for a job or anything like that, that they have to inform you that they are using AI to go over your application for a loan or whatever. But that's about as far as it went.
Was that passed?
Yes,
It was
I
passed.
signed it. Yep, Rebecca.
So I'm curious about the intersection with LAC, because if this is mostly a tool to help people develop policy and all that, I'm kind of wondering if the state doesn't need an AI task force to be looking into all this and making policy recommendations with LAC, because we're already so far behind the 8 ball.
That's
The first
well,
thing we
that's
need,
us.
the first thing we need is a league policy on
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I agree, Rebecca. I think we are tackling it in local leagues, and on with the intersection with the data centers question, and education and all kinds of things, and also in the lack, we're encountering it. So I just think, yeah, we need a lot of education really, really fast. But we also need to develop a policy for, where using AI in the league.
That's
So
true.
we all have an understanding about, ethical and principled ways of using it. And I mean, I think we need to kind of start with that, so we're not hypocritical when we go developing, talking about public
Right.
policy.
Right. And we need a position. I think I put in here Digital Threats to Democracy. That's a program that is a collaboration of LWV Maine, Alaska, and Colorado. And we have been working on a position that I think as soon as we get some experts to weigh in, we may present it.
Nice.
I don't want to get ahead of myself here.
I have another interesting data point. I was researching the 2026 threat assessment put out by the National Intelligence Agency about what we need to be concerned about. This at ramifications for media, because we use the 2025 threat assessment in our presentation. And in 2025, there was a big section on influencers like Russia, China, Iran, and other states trying to influence policy, influence elections, divide the country. They're just using social media and digital media to just break everything up and create as much damage as they can. And in 2026, under the Trump administration, there is no mention of influence operations from any of the state actors. They've taken it out completely, which I find is not surprising, but it's scary, the extent to which they're, influencing everything. And then in the threat assessment, they said that while we have a substantial lead over China in AI now, they fully expect them to pull ahead by 2030 and be far ahead of us. So 2 little data points to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, but we all agree that, oh, Diana?
Doesn't our Observer Corps use AI quite a bit when they bring together all the information, say on a school board or city?
Yeah,
Why
from
can't
those
we pull some of
transcripts.
them in to find out what their experience has been and jump on that? Because we really have already been using it, and I think it's pretty good as far as that goes. Now, I hate it on my phone, but what they've been doing is good.
Okay, so, but we do agree that we would like to invite Anushree and Sophia back for more
So we can
information.
hear. Yeah.
So, what if I contact them to come back just for another task force meeting and we can promote it to the rest of our league? We want them to define the terms they use in their website, how to use the tool. Is that generally what we want to know? And that
Yeah.
could take an hour. Okay.
And maybe just a simple overview, just because when she went through and pointed out things as you asked, it was really good. I mean, even though we all had seen it, it didn't make that point to me myself when I saw it. But when she just put an arrow on it, that really helped. I was like, oh, yeah, I did read that. Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So overview. Okay. That includes defining terms and how to use the tool. And maybe she did say, so even in that interview, I listened to the interview on Marketplace or Market Watch, whatever it was, and they talked about how it could be useful for policy. And she talked about how you can even see on this tool the places, the concepts or parts of AI where there's broad agreement and parts where there's complete, into left and right camps. So that might be useful.
Yeah, I think that's really rich territory. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so I'll do that and I'll see which date, which Tuesday we can get. Okay, so Jazz has left. A lot of people have to leave. I wanted to share an article that Kay sent a link to. It's the Colorado Sun and it's about local news and stripped for parts. And you can imagine it's not very, it's why we need local news. And so, okay. Anybody have anything else you want to say? I'll save the chat.
Really interesting guest. Thanks for inviting her. That was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
well, Maud found her. She knows
Really cool.
Sophia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was good. Huh? Okay, you guys. It's good seeing everybody.
Yeah.
Hope to see you again soon.
When will our next meeting be, or do we have a date yet? Is it going to be in July or not? Are we doing something in July or in August or not?
Oh, I don't know. What do you guys, I'm open to suggestions. Do you want to take July and August off, or do you want to maybe I should contact Anushri and Sophia and see when they are available, and then we'll decide when we meet
Okay.
next, okay?
Okay.
So you'll hear from me.
Okay.
Good idea.
Okay, maybe, I was thinking September, there's so much voter service stuff going on in September. That
Yes.
might be a month to skip.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's true.
okay. All right. Good seeing everybody.
All right.
Thank you,
for
Linda.
coming.
Thank you, Linda.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.